All right, guys, Rob Holcomb back with another tech stack video. This one is for your estimation creation. This is so that while you are on the doors, you can create estimates with the customer. You do not need to set up a follow-up appointment. You don't need to have anybody else take over. You are going to be in charge from the knock to the close. And this is the way that we're going to provide an estimate for the customer. Really easy, but I want you to see it. So first of all, everybody's going to get access to this QR code. This QR code is what will take customers directly to our website. So I recommend having it as either a screensaver or as one of your favorites for your photos so that it's easily accessible. Some people have printed it out and put it on the back of a clear phone case, so they have a phone case that's clear, and you can cut this out and put it on the back of it just so that it's easily accessible. And obviously we have a whole bunch of business cards that have it on the back so that you can take one of those as well if you need to. But very, very easy. They just scan it, and when they do, it's going to take them to our website. So it'll pop up, for example, we're going to go to Lawn Pride of Huntersville. That's not what we wanted. We wanted to go to Lawn Pride of Huntersville right here. Okay, so it's going to pop them up to this page where they can just click on instant quote. So you can imagine if they were on the phone, for example, it's going to look like this. So it takes them straight actually inside the instant quote so they can get an estimate. Okay, so real quick for this video, I'm just going to use my own information here, but we're going to put, when I put LAP at the end of the last name, then that means that the call center is not going to call that person. So you'll want to put that in there for all of your customers. You don't want the call center calling them while you're on the doorstep with the customer. So they need to put LAP at the end of their last name. Okay, yes, you can text me for reminders. Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to take a different address because I've used my address before. So I'm actually going to take this one. This is a random address that I pulled up in Huntersville. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Okay, it was Huntersville, North Carolina, 28078. What type of programs do I want? Let's do weed control program, let's do grub control, and let's say lawn aeration and overseeding. Okay, then how did you hear about us? There's nothing for door-to-door sales on here. So for all of these, I think we are just going to put referral until they actually get that on there. Now, they have the opportunity to say contact me, which will have the contact center or the call center reach out to them right away, or get an instant quote. We're going to ask them to get an instant quote. Okay, get that out of here. Okay, so you can see we filled out all this information. Okay, now we go to instant quote. So that's on the guide here that I have. Okay, for the instant quote. All right, so you can see here that this is the same home that I looked up. So that's right. Okay, so are you looking for a quote for your home located at 105 Holbrook Street? That is correct. It shows the overhead here. Okay, it's going to show that they're going to analyze and measure the property from above. Okay, so click yes. Great, let's get started. And they can do this on their own too, but I would recommend going through the entire process with them. They are, speaking of customers, notorious at not doing what they say they're going to do when it comes to filling out these quotes. Okay, at Lawn Pride, we have over 40 years of lawn care experience, ensuring your yard gets the correct care, whether it's aeration, fertilization, weed control, or beautification. No one knows lawn care better. What services are you interested in today? I put these two. Okay, go next. Okay, you selected fertilizer, weed control, and grub control. Okay, they don't have an aeration service there, but okay, now it's going to pop up this measure it tool. Okay, and on the measure it tool, this is actually kind of awesome because I can go through with the customer and I can fill out all of this information with them, make it a little bit more interactive. Okay, but we're looking at 105, and so let's say I'm gonna work with 105. Okay, let's say, because it looks like they have a fence here, so I'm gonna assume that, and we can go look at the property lines on like Zillow or something like that. In fact, why don't I do that? I'm gonna go to Zillow. Okay, and we're gonna pull this address again. Okay, get out of here. Why? I don't know why it made a suggestion for me, but okay, I'm gonna go look at this home. No, I don't want 123. I want 105. And for some reason, it's not pulling up 105. Well, let's pretend that this was 105 because usually I will be able to pull that up. Okay, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and usually you'll have something. Man, oh, this is an apartment building. What the heck, man? I don't know why. All right, well, we're just gonna pull up a random house so that we can see what it's supposed to do. Okay, so typically when you come down here, okay, it shows the floor plan, shows all the photos, but then you get to a point where it's going to show you man, usually it has the property line, really interesting that neither of those did, but you can go to county records or different things like that if you really want to, and you can pull up the property lines. So unfortunately this is a poor demonstration, but typically you'll be able to see the property lines. So if I knew that it cut off right with this fence line, let's pretend that this fence line is their treatable grass, and we'll go back to the back here. Okay, so we say next, start estimating. Okay, it's going to give me this thing that if I'm on my phone I can use my finger and just trace it. Okay, but since I'm on my computer, okay, that line is all squiggly. Okay, so I can always undo. Okay, if I like the line a little bit better to do it this way. Okay, I always do it a little bit at a time just in case I mess up. Okay, so we're gonna go there, treatable grass. I'm gonna go fast so I don't wanna some of the house is getting in there and whatnot. Okay, we'll just pretend that this is one straight line. Okay, we'll pretend, obviously this is a little messed up. I would take a little bit more time to do it, but let's pretend they have a little bit over here. I don't know what they have over there because it's in the shadow. If I run into anything that is, I just cannot see it at all, then I can always have the call center measure it. Okay, but right now I'm pretty close to what I want. Okay, and I can see that they have right around 6,209 square feet, and that is what I'm going to quote them. Okay, I would check with the homeowner and be like, hey, this is what I have for treatable grass. Does this look correct? And then they can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, we'll submit the estimate. Okay, and for 6,200 square feet, it is going to tell me, okay, here's a picture. Looks like you colored in this. Okay, I'm going to customize my quote because it didn't include the aeration. So I'm going to customize my quote. Okay, have you been doing the lawn yourself or having another company take care of it? Do it myself. Okay, it's going to go through all of these different questions. That's awesome. Glad to hear you're taking pride in your lawn. Believe it or not, not everybody cares. What is your current happiness with the lawn? Oh, I'm 2.5 stars. Great, Rob. We will not stop until we get you to a 5 out of 5. Okay, it's patchy. Wonderful. Okay. What's the biggest issue you're having problems with? Let's say broadleaf weeds, because that is a big thing that we treat. Okay, recommend the best possible programs. Okay, so you can see here that it recommends the 7 application program, $66 for the application. Okay, grub control is going to be $139. If I wanted to add anything else, I can do that on the back end as well. Okay, and then I can gather all of their billing information. Okay, you can see that on the walkthrough. Okay, we followed the prompts. We get the estimate. Okay, then it's asking for all of the card information. Customer's going to receive an email. We can schedule treatments anytime between 2 and 5 days of the sale, but you can see that once I enter that information, I can then say, okay, well, I need to think about it, or I can move forward with it. So that is how that works. It's just going to show kind of my subtotal is $200, but that is just for one application. Okay, $66 for each application is what that is. Okay, I can take that off or put it on. If I take it off, it's obviously going to take down the amount that I have to work with. But then later on I can add the aeration and things like that. But the customer will receive an email that shows them the quote and their pricing. But we want to close while we are on the doorstep. We don't want to leave them in this place. This is for the call center. That's not for us. We don't want to leave them saying that they need to think about it. We need to build the pain so that in order to close it right then and there. So very cool though, very easy to use. The hardest part I think is drawing the treatable lawn, but once you get that done, it can again be kind of a game with the customer where we can have them do it, we can show them, but if we map that out for them, then we're going to be able to get an exact quote that we can give them. So that is all for this one. Relatively easy training, but wanted to walk you guys through so that you could see it in action on the site. But you would do all of this on your phone, on a tablet, or a computer, whatever you wanted to do. So hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next video.